Hello everyone, it's Amy, and I just wanted to show you that I have emptied out my roll top box and I am going to get ready to decorate. So the one thing that I have decided to do is I am going to cut this flap off here. I'm going to cut it right down even with this angle because it just drives me crazy that it's sticking out like that. And because my box is shiny, I'm trying not to shake too much here, but because I have this shiny coating on my box, I'm going to have to sand it. Now, if your box is, this box here is not coated, even though it's painted on this side. Let's get over here. It's painted here. It's not a slick paint, so it's okay to leave that like that, and I will not have to sand that. But in all the spots where I have this shiny coating, this is going to have to be sanded. So I'm going to put you here on the tripod, and I'm going to show you what I do in order to make sanding easier when I have a big sanding. Now, a sanding block would be nice, but we don't have one, and we don't really want to spend the money for one. So I take a toilet paper roll and just stuff it with newspaper. Stuff it till it's really good and firm. And I've just got my junk paper here that we get. They hang it on our mailbox every week. And I'm just going to use this. I've just ripped it into squares, and I'm going to stuff it until my toilet paper roll is really solid. So, because I want to be able to push hard on it, and paper gives you a really nice, it's solid and yet it's a little bit flexible. So that works out really well for what you're trying to do. Okay, so this will be good. That'll be enough. Just going to push it in there, and there we go. Now, this is really good and solid. Now I'm going to take the piece of sanding paper that we got. I'm going to just wrap it around there. And that is now my sanding block. So this will work really good to sand on this shiny surface. And the thing is it's nice to hold. It really gives you something to hold on to, you know, versus just holding the sandpaper. And then you just go ahead and sand your box. And it gives you full contact over this whole surface. See? So like when you're holding it, really you only get contact under where your fingers are. So it gives you contact over this whole surface. You can turn it a little bit to use other parts of your sandpaper. And this works really well for sanding. So if you have a shiny box and have to sand it, this is what you're going to want to do that. And then I also have mixed the rest of my first school glue and a little bit of my second school glue, well actually about half of my second school glue, 1 part water to 2 parts glue, and I've got that mixed in my bowl. And I've got my largest paintbrush of my 3, so that the first, after I get this sanded, then what I'm going to do is I am going to put newspaper on it, because I would rather see the newspaper, and actually I will rip it into, I'm not going to rip it into tiny bits because this is a large box, but I will rip it into kind of, you know, maybe 4x4 or 5x5, and then just overlap them on my box. And then after I get the whole thing covered with the newspaper and it dries, then I'm going to use my colorful tissue paper and put that on top. And then these things will kind of show through, and I kind of like that look, but I don't want my vacuum cleaner box to show through. So I am going to go ahead right now, and I'm going to sand the whole thing, put the newspaper on it. I'm going to cut off that little flap, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm in the middle of the decorating process, and I thought that I would show you right here how far I am. This is, I covered my box with newspapers to cover up the vacuum cleaner that was there, because I knew you'd see through the tissue paper. And then I put some tissue paper, like flower petals, on there. This is the back, and this is as far as it's going to go, because this is all the water glue that I have left out of both of my jars. And so, and the other thing is that I kept both of my glue tubs, and peeled the labels off. These will work great for like mixing water paint, really watered down paint, and then you can use it to drip down a canvas or something. But always, no matter what you're using, always make sure that you peel the labels. And when I eventually put something in here, I will write with my black permanent marker on this bottle what it is, so that nothing that could hurt someone is in a bottle and they don't know what it is. So because I use bleach and I use rubbing alcohol for different things, and I don't want those in a bottle where someone thinks it's something different. So because I drop bottles and only keep them if I can peel the label. If I cannot peel the label, I won't write on the label that's there. It has to be in a blank bottle before I'll put something like that in it. But anyways, so this is the back, and this is as far as I got. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I wasn't going to decorate the back at all, but then some of my flowers kind of were wrapping around, and I thought, oh, what the heck, I'll just the ones that wrap around, I'll go ahead and put those on there. So, but this is, we'll turn it around and see what the front looks like. Got to get a hold of it here. I did find an old knob in my junk drawer, and so I think I'm going to put a little knob right on there, just paint it up. It's really kind of ugly, but I'll paint it up and put it on the front. So this is what it looks like from the front, and it's mostly covered. There were spots that I wasn't going to try and just fill in little spots. I wanted it actually to be petals that covered and that type of thing. So I'm all done with my tissue paper, and here's the top. So, but on the front here, I didn't do anything here. I think that I'm going to make a little like sign out of my paper and then glue it on that says build your stash and craft, and put it right across the bottom here. I'm not positive yet, but I think that's what I want to do. So I just left that blank. And then the end down here, I didn't do anything on the end down here for two reasons. Number one, because I don't have any glue left. And number two, because this was cardboard, and what I did do here was I cut another piece of cardboard that was the same size as this upright, and I glued it together, and I tipped it on its side this way and put a book inside there to hold those together till it dried. Then I put the tape around it, and I did that not just to get this blank. I like that it has the blank cardboard on there now, but I did it because that was really flimsy, and I wanted it to be good and sturdy because I'd be moving it. And then I also put a solid piece across the bottom to hold these two boxes together. They were glued together, but it was kind of wonky there, so it's one solid bottom on there of cardboard. So this is how far I've got so far. I think I'm going to do some doodling. I may whitewash it to tone it down a little bit because it's so bright. But the inside still looks the same, except for I did cut the part of that box there that came straight up. I cut that off just because, to me, I just liked the looks of that better. I didn't like that piece of cardboard sticking out there when I opened this up. So this is my decorating so far. And when I get a little bit more done, I'll come back and show you again. Okay, I thought I'd do a quick share of where I'm at so far on decorating the box. I have done my doodling on the box, and I did black and white on my flowers, and I did all of the centers, but I only did the petals on this big one in the front. I added to the bottom, build your stash and craft. And then I just painted, I took a piece of my paper and cut two 2-inch strips and then taped them together in the middle because one piece wasn't long enough to do the full length. And then I just put some of my paint on it, like I did with my washi tape, and cut those letters out of magazines. So, and then I put my washi tape around all the edges, just to cover up the regular masking tape. Oh, I didn't put any right there. I could have put some there, but this is what I have left. I did my whole thing I did the whole thing when I did the DIY washi tape, and I have used all of it. So I'm glad that I made that much. And then I put it around here. So this is how far I am now. The only thing I have left to do is I am going to take my glue and I'm going to paint across all the washi tape. That will shine it up just a little bit and help stick it down better. And luckily, I paid 50 cents less for my glitter paint because one was missing, and only paid 50 cents for my paper towel, so I had $1 left. So I had to go buy 2 more glues because I had run out. So I do have 2 new glues now because I had a little bit of money for that. So if you have any extra money, like if something we need to pick up that week you already have, remember, maybe stick it in your glass jar. That's what I did. And then keep it in case you need something that's we've already purchased but you've used it up, or you think you need something that's not on the list. So, but this is where I am so far. I'm going to paint that. I pulled out the knob for the front, but I have to paint it and see if I can find a screw that will work to screw it through such a, you know, the screws are actually quite long because they're made to go through like the wood on your kitchen cabinet doors. So I'll have to see about that because I might want to put a handle on the front, a little knob on the front. But this is how far I am. I'm going to just finish those last couple touches, fill it back up again, and show you the final product. And here it is, my completed faux roll top, all loaded and ready to be put in my art room. I have everything in there that we've collected so far, that we've purchased to use for our stash to make our crafts. And I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the ransom letters across the bottom that say build your stash and craft. And I really like the way that everything fits. I still have lots of room to hold our new things that we get. And then as we go, I guess I'll just, you know, make another box to hold things. Or that's the one thing about crafting, is you always seem to outgrow your space. I started with the little box there and I outgrew that space, so now I've got this one and it'll last a while longer. But this is what it looks like. It's all opened up. I have everything in here, including my little stamps. I used my tape for my edging, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So this is what it looks like. I'll put the paper towel down and close it. Whoops, knocked off one of my paper clips. Here we go. And that's the front of my box. So I appreciate you all watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.